Taking a look live at beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia along the west coast of our neighbors to the north, good old Canada. The Vancouver Legion playing host to the Canton Classics in a tough Week 12 matchup for playoff positioning here at Kings Coast Stadium, home of the Legion. As we get a look inside right now, we'll get a look inside the broadcast booth as well. Eric Vincent alongside my partner Nate Hall, Mark Mello in the stat truck for us this evening. And Nate, we were talking about this off air before we were getting things going, and this has all the signs, all the makeups for a great matchup. And if it's anything like those first couple games that we saw, this is going to be an instant classic.
Yeah, it really is, Eric. And playoff implications abound in this one, like you stated. You know, Canton's still fighting for a playoff position. Currently sitting on the outside looking in, but desperately needing wins as they close out the final stretch of the season to try to find themselves in the playoffs once the season ends. And Vancouver, who at this time of the season usually historically has their positioning locked up for the most part, is currently in a fight of their own, only currently one game ahead of not LA like normal, but Portland, who finds themselves on quite the win streak as of late. Only one game ahead of Portland right now, looking to stay ahead out there in the Pacific.
And to add yet another storyline to this evening's festivities, Kendra Hall coming in to face off against her former team, the Vancouver Legion, here at home for Vancouver. So just another storyline to add here this evening. Vancouver coming in with the third most passing yards on average in the league. Canton, the third best defense against passing yards in the league. So we've got a lot of Jekyll and Hyde going on this evening. Should be a fantastic matchup. And Vancouver will start off with the football as Rob Ems does the honors and gets us underway. And bouncing it towards the outside there is Justice Blackwell, the newcomer from Florida in the offseason. And from the 24-yard line is where we will see Christian Brown take over for this Vancouver offense.
Yeah, Christian Brown, who so far this season is leading this Vancouver team in multiple categories, just having himself a great season so far for this offense.
Playing the run, they're going to get it. Robert Redford with his first carry on the ground, and that'll bring it up to the 30-yard line. A good chunk of 6 yards to start things off. And Brown, he's got himself a 2020 season right now. He's got 20 touchdowns, 20 picks. But his QBR is it's pretty good up there, close to 96 at 95.9.
Yeah, and he's only been sacked 15 times, which is good for 10th in the SFL. But Robert Redford, who we saw in the last play, he's got 10 touchdowns so far this season, which is also top 10 in the SFL.
Handoff, we're going to see the fullback this time, and that's Sawyer Stern with a modest carry, and that's going to make it third and short coming up here.
We've seen that more out of Vancouver as of late, liking to get Stern a lot more carries, trying to get him more involved in their offense. Look to see him get maybe 4 or 5 carries in this ball game as the game progresses.
Offset eye as the Legion face their first third down of the evening. Brown over the middle, got an open man, and that's first down yardage. Chris Curtis, the recipient there, and that'll move the sticks. That'll give us an opportunity to look at the Vancouver offense. Christian Brown, number 4, the newcomer from the former St. Louis Gladiators. Robert Redford, Sawyer Stern rounds out the backfield. Justice Blackwell, we mentioned him. Hector Huxley, Brett Killian, BK12 himself, and Chris Curtis, the wide receivers. James Walters, the tight end. Mike Coverson and Michael Percoco at left tackle and left guard, respectively. Offset eye again, Redford trying to bounce it inside and gets met by a couple different Canton defenders after a gain of 3.
Yeah, they'll look to go Redford's way a lot, but that previous play before this one went to, as you stated, Chris Curtis. In last week's game, Curtis and Killian were the leading receivers. They like to go both those guys' ways as they went over 100 yards receiving in last week's last game's win, I should say, 2 weeks ago over Seattle.
Brown again with a dime, and again with first down yardage. This time he finds Blackwell over the middle of the field, and that was exactly where he needed to put the football.
And we've seen a lot more out of Justice Blackwell as well over the last couple weeks. The rookie starting to make a name for himself as well over these last few weeks.
So far, the passing offense showing up against this passing defense for Canton. And another fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. Brown going to throw again, screen pass to Stern, and he's met immediately after maybe about a yard and a half or so. We're going to look at the Canton defense. Chris Porter coming back from injury from a week ago. Mike All, Odette Boudreau, and Gary Burney along the front four. Mark Gronek, Gary Clem, Adam Chance, the linebackers. Connor Darien and Jay Rock are the corners. Frank Bernstein, Bob Funk, and Evan Lacey rounds out that talented defensive backfield for the Classics. Offset I, 2nd and 8. Robert Redford again met right at the line of scrimmage. Another good open field tackle, this time by Gary Clem.
And I kind of assumed that we'd see a little bit more of Robert Redford in this game because one stat that I'm looking for in this one is while Vancouver has the 3rd most average of passing yards in the SFL at 316, this Canton defense is allowing the 3rd least passing yards in the SFL at 241. So we'll see which side gives way so far.
And another third down conversion through the air, this time to Hector Huxley. And it looks like Christian Brown is spreading the football around nicely to all his weapons.
Yeah, he's got completions out to Curtis. He's got completions out to Blackwell, and now he's got one to Huxley. The last one he's got to get to is Killian. I'm sure he'll find that one before too long.
Brown, pressure coming from his backside, avoids it, into coverage and incomplete. He was going towards the far sideline to Chris Curtis, but a lot of white jerseys out there.
Led by Frank Bernstein with that pass deflection. Tried to tip it back to one of his defenders that was close by, but just not close enough to get the pick. But a nice pass deflection nonetheless.
2nd and 10 from Rebel 27 yards.
Vancouver comes out with the offset I once again. Popular formation on this drive. And they go to Redford. Redford gets buried back behind the 30. They'll mark him right at the 30 because of forward momentum, but a great stop there by the front four of Canton.
Yeah, Mike All was there just leading the way for this defensive line. Get that tackle for loss, setting up a major 3rd and long coming up from the 30. Let's see what they can do. They come out with 4 wide. Look for Brett Killian to try to get his first completion right here on 3rd down.
Marker, Christian Brown over the middle, caught, touchdown, Legion.
Well, it wasn't Brett Killian, but it was Chris Curtis with his 2nd completion of this ball game, and that offside penalties will not matter as the completion was made from Christian Brown to Chris Curtis for 6 points, and they're already on the board early on their first drive of the ball game.
And this was a great throw. Pump fakes towards the far sideline, finds Curtis right over the middle of the field, and he had BK12 along that same vein as well, but finds Curtis for the easy score.
Yeah, and he beat, looked like he beat the defender, Bob Funk, who's one of the top defenders on this Canton defense, and Bob Funk just wasn't able to be there to stop that pass completion from being made.
Curtis's 6th touchdown reception on the year. And we will see the extra point added by Tuwin to make it a 7-0 ball game. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. 7-0 ball game. We'll see Canton get their first crack at the football. The Classics from their own end zone. Dillapre had a couple decent returns a week ago, and he's got a decent one here as he makes it out to the 25-yard line. We'll see number 15, Cameron Curtis, come out and take over for the Classics.
Yeah, and Curtis last week in their loss to Seattle struggled a little bit. He did throw for 2 touchdowns, but he also threw 2 interceptions and didn't complete very many passes, just over 50% at 57.5.
Very up and down ball game for sure. And we're going to see a lot of this man as well. Rojo, Robert Johnson, number 33, gets a huge chunk play right out the gate. And that'll be a first down for the Classics on one play.
Yeah, and if this offense is going to do well, we're going to see a lot of Robert Johnson breaking a lot of big runs just like that. And he's a balanced back. He'll not only finesse you a little bit, juke you a little bit, he'll also power you a little bit. And we saw him just find his way through a hole right there through the middle for a nice gain and first down.
Single back is Johnson. He'll get the carry, and he's met with authority right near the line of scrimmage. Gain of a couple. We'll get a look at the Canton offense quickly. Cameron Curtis at quarterback. Robert Johnson, the running back, along with Chris Komisak at fullback, rounds out the backfield there. KJ Elisho, Kendra Hall, Al Dillapre Sr., and Mike Twinscrew, the wide receivers. Jack Wall at tight end, and Girth Lord, the center. 3 wide. Curtis over the middle, caught, and that's Elisho with a first down. I thought it might have been a little shy, but I guess forward progress will give him the first down there.
Yeah, he came in on the slant pattern. I was right with you there, Eric. I thought he was about a yard short, but he must have reached that ball out towards the first down marker, and they gave him the first down on forward progress. You just got to wonder what kind of emotion is running through Kendra Hall right now, coming onto this field again after playing here for so many seasons.
Absolutely, and that'll be a storyline we watch all game long as Vancouver gets impressive penetration up the middle there as Giudice and company gets the TFL.
Yeah, Gerald Giudice, who we're on for sack watch in this one, comes in for a tackle for loss and sets up a second and long coming in on the play for this next play.
2 wideouts for Curtis. He's going to go that way. Caught! Twin screw. High point in the football there. And coming down with it in traffic. Moves the sticks again for the Classics.
Yeah, Twin Screw, who was the leading receiver in that loss against Seattle last week with 67 yards, just went up and snagged that one, like you said, out of the air, beating the free safety Michael Lister on that corner route, and just went up and skied it at the high point and came down with an amazing catch.
Canton making quick work of the field here. As this will be a carry for Rojo, and Vancouver converges on him quickly. That'll give us an opportunity to look at the Vancouver defense. Achilles Papatanis, Cabron Womack, Gerald Giudice along the front 3. Josh Farnsey, Earl Fields the 4th, and Marquise Reed, the linebackers. Major Key, Dean Maddox, and Michael Lister, the corners. Mark Lopez, Will Stern, and Drew Hamilton round out the defensive backfield. 2nd and 11. Hand off to Johnson, who gets buried at the line. What a hit there by big number 52, Earl Fields the 4th.
And these guys for Vancouver can hit, and proved it right there, coming in through the line and just laying it onto Robert Johnson, not letting him go anywhere on that play. What a hit. Just a major blow to Johnson.
First real test of the drive for Canton. 3rd and 11 here. Curtis gonna throw it short, crossing route. That's Hall. Kendra throwing some spin moves down, and she's not gonna quite get there, but some good fight there by the number 1 wideout in Canton to get close to first down yardage.
Yeah, good fight to try to get the first down, but like you said, it's going to be a little bit short of the first down marker, but they're still inside the range for Rob Ems to try to tack on 3 points to get the first points of Canton's ball game here.
And honestly, that extra yardage that Kendra had gotten on that play probably got them into Ems's field goal range, as Ems is able to knock it through from 49 yards and get the Canton Classics on the board.
Yeah, it's a good fight on the play by Kendra to get them in that field goal range, and no problem for Ems, as that kick is money. They call him Money Ems in Canton, and there's a reason for that, as he is right down in between the uprights and good from distance. So good start for Canton here as they get 3 on the board.
So 2 productive first possessions for both these teams. Vancouver just a little bit better as they hit pay dirt to start things off. Blackwell right up the middle trying to find some blockers, and we'll make it out past the 25 to the 27-yard line. The SFL network is coming to the ESTV Plus app. 24/7 SFL programming will include content created by the community, the SFL's greatest games from the archives, exclusive network content, and live SFL regular season games. Download the ESTV Plus app on your Android or iPhone or on your TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, Vizio, and more. The SFL network, where SFL creators come together. Handoff there as Redford doesn't even get out of the backfield, and he'll get stopped behind the line at the 26.
So, yeah, we'll see what kind of drive Vancouver can put together. We saw them have a really good drive the first time they had the ball, driving it down the field and getting a touchdown out to Chris Curtis. See if they go to Redford a little bit more on this one.
Redford with another carry there as he buries his shoulders down into the sea of humanity. Gets a few yards on that play, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, quick third down here. After 2 plays of netting only 1 yard, this Canton defense came out here to play on this drive as they have a 3rd and long situation coming up here.
Yep, an early test this time for Vancouver. 3rd and long. Brown from the gun. Fires it, tipped away, and incomplete. It looked like it was well out of the hands of the defensive backfield, and then all of a sudden, you see Jay Rock come into the screen, and it's a lot closer than you thought it was.
Right. I saw the tip by Connor Darien, and all of a sudden, Jay Rock comes flying over to the middle of your screen. That's why I was like, oh, look out. He could get over there. Oh, not quite. It was a lot closer than I gave him credit for, but he was almost there.
Definitely a funny play, but a good stand there by Canton as they force the 3 and out and get an opportunity at the football, possibly to take the lead here in the early goings. See the first punt by Brian Patrick. And decent return out to the 39-yard line of Canton, where they'll get good starting field position there. The Canton Classics are partnering with Stack Up and Wounded Warrior Project this month and need your help to assist veterans and their families. You can find out more and donate to the cause at cantonclassics.com/charity. These campaigns are running until the end of the month, so please stop by and help the Classics make a difference for veterans in need. Offset eye for the Classics as Rojo gets a carry. Good blocking up front, gets hung up just a little bit there, Nate. I thought he could have sprung that one.
Yeah. Had he had one more block on that left-hand side, he would have still been running at that point. But going back to your last read, it was fun to call that exhibition game between Lone Star and Canton with Gerald Smith. So that was a blast to do for the Canton cause earlier this month. So definitely look into that if you haven't done so yet.
Curtis going to sling it out to Rojo, and he gets close to the line to gain. They'll mark him at 3rd and inches. And back to your previous point, hats off to the Canton Classics. I mean, they have been a welcome addition to the league with all of the different charities that they're helping out with, them getting involved with the city of Canton, a lot of great people on that squad, and it's definitely been fun to watch here in their first season of play.
Absolutely, and hopefully, I just hope it continues, and honestly, I hope it Canton's fire kind of spreads to the rest of the league.
Twin Screw with the catch for the first down as he gets tackled along that far sideline at the 47-yard line, as you see his numbers on the evening so far.
And look, they only needed like less than a yard, right, for the first down, and he got just past the first down marker, probably a 2 or 3 yard gain along that right-hand side towards the sidelines. He got just enough that he needed for the first down to move the chains.
Might get one more play here before the end of the quarter. Offset eye again for the Classics. 4 down linemen for Vancouver. Curtis to throw. Design screen. Johnson getting out of the backfield, but he didn't get much. He got maybe 2 or 3 on the play. As he makes it out to the Vancouver 43-yard line, we hit triple zeros on the first quarter, and we've got a good one as we were hoping for. Vancouver up by 4 early on at home over the Canton Classics. This is the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. We are live on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. Eric Vinson alongside Nate Hall and Mark Mello in the stats truck for us this evening. 7-3 ball game. Vancouver up, but Canton driving on their second possession of the ball game. Coming out in an I formation. Curtis fires it, completes, and that's close to the 30-yard line. Probably Markham maybe just a little bit shy, but Comisac coming out of the backfield as a receiver.
Yeah, they like to do that with Comisac, just getting him out on that streak pattern on that from the fullback spot. It doesn't matter if he runs down the right-hand side or left-hand side, but they like to get him on that streak pattern and get him receptions any way they can, and they do it here and gets a good gain for a first down.
Put some stank on that as well as he threw it out to Comisac. Got it there in a hurry. Fresh set of downs from the 30-yard line. Handoff, Rojo. He's been trying to find his way against this tough Legion defense, and their front seven is pretty nasty, pretty gnarly.
Absolutely. When you're led by the likes of Gerald Giudice and Achilles Papatonis, you know, they call him the Greek nightmare, and there's a reason for that. You don't want to run into that guy for sure when you come across him on the front line.
Johnson, 7 carries, 18 yards. His 8th carry here, trying to bounce it near sideline. And again, great pursuit by the Vancouver defense as up comes that was Drew Hamilton that laid the lumber right along the line of scrimmage there.
Drew Hamilton, Big Daddy himself, coming up from his safety position to lay the wood on Johnson and just absolutely brings him down with a nasty hit.
Empty set now for Canton. Curtis takes the snap, has time, over the middle. Good move there by Dillapre as he was able to get himself across the line to gain and deeper into Vancouver territory. Into the SFL red zone we go.
Al Dillapre caught that about 2 yards before the first down marker, and he made a split-second decision to go juke move right. Oh, yep, all right, I'm past the first down marker now, first down.
Three wide for Curtis this time. Curtis, area picked off. One-on-one coverage with Dillapre, and that was not the way to go, as that was Major Key that picked him off there.
Major Key that time found the key to success to pick that one away from Al Dillapre Sr. and get the ball right back to Vancouver's offense.
And I don't think Dillapre even really knew that the ball was up in the air. Didn't even get his head turned around. And Key just located it the entire way. Great play there by the corner. His 8th season in the league, all with Vancouver.
See if we can see a safety this time.
Safety watch for sure, but Robert Redford is making this to the defense. All the way up to the 30-yard line, just like that, 26 yards off the rip.
Robert Redford said, safety? What safety? Instead, I'm going to rumble for 27 yards instead, up to the 31. You got good blocks from his fullback, his offensive line. I saw Percoco in there. I saw his other offensive tackle, Mike Coverson, in there, just sealing off that left-hand side and just paving the way for that running back.
Another masterful run from the natural himself. Fresh set of downs from the 30-yard line of Vancouver. 2 backs behind Brown. He's got 3 wideouts to work with. Turnaround handoff, and that's going to be Redford again. And I thought he was going to bust it towards that far sideline there. Another spin move, cut him back inside, and he was met right in the middle there, Nate.
Yeah, I think if he would have spun right instead of spinning left, he would have been towards that sideline and gone.
Heavy backfield for the Legion. We'll get another carry by Redford. Canton ready for it, though. As Mark Gronek gets in there and makes the stop behind the line. It's going to be 3rd and 4 coming up now.
Yeah, Canton said, you're not going to fool me twice with that same move. This time, Mark Gronek in for the tackle and make sure that didn't go twice.
Fairly evenly matched game so far. Rushing yards clearly in favor of Vancouver as of right now, but on 3rd and 4, we'll see what they run. Brown finds a receiver over the middle. It's picked off on the tip drill. It's intercepted by Bob Funk.
Get funky with it.
That ball was hanging up in the air, and Funk says, yes, thank you. That's going with me.
Bob Funk got funky with it and started running, but instead gets tackled by the receiver. But good pick nonetheless, and gets the ball right back in great field position for Canton's offense.
James Walters couldn't quite reel that one in. Popped up into the air. Funk was the beneficiary of it. And the Classics are the beneficiary of good starting field position from the 42-yard line. Trips towards the top of the formation. Curtis in the empty. He's going to throw over the middle to a crossing route and has a man for a good 9 yards.
KJ Alasho, the benefactor of that completion for that 9-yard gain. And now they find themselves right back in that field goal range again. But you got to think they got the field goal last time, but you got to think they're looking for 6 points this time to try to take the lead.
They definitely want to punch it in here for sure. Curtis, another short drop. Fires it. Oh, man, that was dangerous right there. Michael Lister had the deflection and almost had reservations for 6.
Veteran Kendra Hall being covered by second-year sophomore safety Michael Lister, and Lister wins that time. Just great coverage on that play.
So now a 3rd and short. Offset eye might be Rojo territory here. Vancouver stacking the box. They're looking for it. They're waiting for it. Instead, Curtis is going to throw. He's going to swing it out to Comisac coming out of the backfield. Couldn't keep his balance and loses yardage. And that's going to end up being a 4th and 4.
I saw disaster written all over that play as soon as Comisac caught that one, because I think he was too far over towards the sidelines when he caught it, and I knew he wasn't going to stay in bounds once he caught it, and that 2-yard loss is going to bring up this punt.
Yeah, that knocks him out of field goal range, so we'll see Doug Six try the old coffin corner kick as he boots it out of bounds along the far sideline. They'll mark it out at the 12-yard line, so good punt there by Six to pin them back inside the 20.
Yeah, I would say good, but not as good as I'm used to seeing out of Six. I've seen a few Canton punts this season, and I've seen Six punt it down to the 4 or 3, so I know that he can do better, and Canton was probably looking for better at that point. But a good punt nonetheless.
We all have off days.
Absolutely.
Brown going to uncork one into coverage and incomplete. Along that far sideline was Jay Rock in coverage, and he bats the football down.
Yeah, Jay Rock making plays tonight. They were looking for Brett Killian, who still doesn't have a reception this evening. Being shut out here in the first half thus far, but J Rock making plays, as I stated, coming away with the pass deflection.
Second down now for Vancouver. Brown, pressure coming, flings it out far sideline to Redford, who makes a one-handed grab and gets about 4 or 5 yards out to the Vancouver 14-yard line.
I think had Redford not gone out of bounds, I think he still would have been tackled not too much further after that catch, because Frank Bernstein was right there to bring him down had he, stayed in bounds.
Second quarter, the story has been pivotal 3rd down, so we've got another one here for Vancouver. 4 wide, single back. Brown under center. Short drop. Finds a man over the middle, and that's caught to the 30-yard line, and he finds the rookie Hector Huxley out of Lexington.
Yeah, Hector Huxley with his second reception of the ball game now. This one good for a 1st down and moving the chains, and Canton unable to get off the field on that pivotal 3rd down play.
So with a fresh set of downs, offset eye this time for the Legion. Trying to get Redford involved once again, and he is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Tried to bounce it back inside, found 0 room, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. The SFL Weekly Fantasy Contest is officially up and running. Think you can draft the best team every week while staying under the salary cap? Or maybe you just want to enhance your SFL experience. Free to play, no season-long commitment, and a new contest opens every week on Tuesday night. Join now and show off your fantasy skills to the rest of the league. Contact Jack Wall, Stephen Hacker, or Hunter Norwood to join today. Brown again uncorks one far sideline, and again, Jay Rock in one-on-one coverage And that falls incomplete this time with Justin Blackwell.
J-Rock already with 2 pass deflections in this game to go along with his 2 tackles. But the story on the tackle watch is Mark Gronick, who the previous play before that one got his 5th tackle. He's on pace to get double-digit tackles in this ballgame.
3rd and long. 7-step drop for Brown. He's going to fire it, and that's caught. BK12 with his first catch of the evening, and that's good enough for another Legion first down.
Yeah, how many times have you seen Brett Killian get shut out through a quarter and a half of a ball game? I'm sure Brett Killian is going to be happy to have that first completion under his belt, and is going to be looking to get a lot more as this game progresses, but a good first down to keep this drive going.
Connor Darien, the former King, with the tackle on that play. Clock under 5 minutes to go here in the first half of play as the Legion set up in an offset eye again. Brown, he's going to get hit and dropped. Back at the 35-yard line. They'll mark him at the 36, and he had absolutely no shot to get out of that one.
Yikes. That's all I can say on that play. Christian Brown's got to get rid of it quicker, but you can't get rid of it much quicker than that when you've got Odette Boudreau barreling on you as quick as she did on that one. Just wow. What a sack on that play.
Her 3rd sack on the season. Makes it a 2nd forever. Brown, again with pressure in his face, and again throws it into one-on-one coverage, but somehow Blackwell is able to come up with it this time, and it's a huge first down to the Canton 35-yard line.
Frank Bernstein was there, Evan Lacey was there, but it didn't matter. Brown found it to where only Blackwell could catch it. Actually, J-Rock was there on the coverage on that one. But however, yeah, Blackwell was there to catch it, and another first down play. What a play, what a throw on that one.
And Rock was doing so well in one-on-one coverage with pretty much every receiver that Vancouver was throwing at him. Blackwell, the beneficiary of that one there. First down for Vancouver as Redford gets a pass coming out of the backfield. Couple spin moves, and he'll make it out to the 27-yard line. Vancouver's starting to find their groove a little bit on this drive.
Yes, they are, and Canton's got to find a way to get a stop before they get a score here to avoid going down by 2 scores.
Again, this game pivotal for both squads as they are fighting for playoff positioning. Hand off again to Redford. Good blocking up front, and he's going to have first down yardage to the 22-yard line.
Redford just keeps grinding away at this defense, and one thing about Redford is, if you've watched him play enough games, is if he gets going and keeps running, he wears defenses down, and that's going to come to play in the second half if it keeps going this way.
From the gun this time, Brown. Wide open man. Blackwell makes a huge catch and a huge touchdown grab for the Legion. What a play.
You said it, Eric. What a play on that right-hand side. Just what a throw, first of all, by Christian Brown, finding Justice Blackwell on that right-hand side, on the corner route, just past where the defender wasn't on the coverage, and just doing that final hurdle over Evan Lacey past the diving attempt and into the end zone for 6 points to go up by 2 scores.
Perfect timing on that play all the way around from Brown to Blackwell. And Blackwell with 63 yards and a touchdown grab here this evening. And to win makes it a 14-3 ball game. The SFL Minor League is about to begin. Games kick off Friday, October 14th on SFL YouTube. And it's not too late to create your player and get him or her involved in the next rookie class. Season 20's rookie draft takes place December 17th and 18th, so don't miss your chance. The sooner you create your player, the better your player will be on draft day. For more information, visit simulationfl.net. Dillapre from just outside his end zone. And he's got a good burst of speed up to the 26-yard line for Canton. And with 2:38 to go, all 3 timeouts, they got an opportunity here to hit pay dirt. What do you think has to change, though, for the offense of the Classics, Nate?
I think they got to get their wide receivers more involved. I mean, between Kendra Hall and Mike Twinscrew, the two of them, they've only got 3 completions. So Cameron Curtis has got to find his receivers a lot more often.
It's like a passing formation here. Curtis is going to throw, and he's going to be sacked. Sandwiched back at the 20-yard line. I know Achilles Papatanis was in there, and Gerald Giudice as well, as he's going to hit career sack number 50 on that play.
Yes, he is. You're going to give him at least a half sack on that one, as the Greek Nightmare was in there, as you stated, as well as Giudice. So, 50 on his career. So congrats to him on that milestone covered, and that's going to be a major loss to set them back 6 yards.
Curtis, bring it out. One-on-one coverage and incomplete. It looked like Dean Maddox had actually read the play a little bit better than the wideout, Kendra Hall, and that falls incomplete. We'll see one more play before the 2-minute warning, and it's a big one.
Yeah, Dean Maddox had perfect coverage on that route. Probably looked like he read the mind of the quarterback on that one and knew they were going to go Kendra Hall's way, but had perfect coverage and batted that one away.
From the 20, 3rd and long, Curtis uncorks one, a bridge, and a catch right around midfield. They'll mark him down at the 49-yard line, and we'll freeze the clock for the 2-minute warning. What a play by Kendra Hall.
That was the same play as the previous time. This time, Dean Maddox got burned.
I mean, really was good coverage there. It was just a better catch by Kendra Hall to come up with a big play when her team needed it the most.
Absolutely. And, that's one thing Kendra was known for in Vancouver was big catches on 3rd down. And now she's doing it for Canton and doing it against Vancouver's defense.
2 minutes to go here. Hall with another catch, this time into opponent's territory to the 47-yard line. Clock will continue to roll.
And we'll see how much they go towards Kendra's way on this drive and see if they continue to go her way to try to get this score before the halftime break.
3 catches now for 40 yards. Hall said aye. Robert Johnson with the carry. Johnson nowhere to go as he gets knocked down in the backfield. Good pursuit once again by the Legion defense.
Yeah, nothing doing on that one. Lister coming up from his free safety spot to get the tackle for loss, and a big 3rd down coming up to keep this drive going as the clock rolls towards the 1 minute left in the half.
Classics are playing the patience game. Coming out 4 wide. Curtis senses the pressure, and he gets rid of it, but that's not going to be enough for the 1st down as Hall makes the catch. Clock will roll, and we'll see Canton try to run the clock out as much as they can before punting the football away.
Yeah, they did look Kendra Hall's way, but she was nowhere near that 1st down marker. Only a 3-yard gain when they needed 9, and 6 will come out to punt this one away. They'll probably snap it with probably 25 seconds or so left.
I'm with you, though, Nate. That play had danger written all over it. Whether it was the sack or the pass or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
This did not look good from the start. Doug Six will get another crack at it. And that'll be fielded at about the 11-yard line. Vancouver will have about 17 seconds to go here in the 1st half. Today's home game for the Vancouver Legion is brought to you by Kings Coast Coffee. Premium small batch roast-to-order coffee delivered right to your door. Delivering exceptional coffee to Legion fans in the U.S. and Canada. Use code LEGION and get 10% off today at kingscoastcoffee.com.
Say that again. I like how you say that, Kings Coast Coffee.
Kings Coast Coffee.
Trying to use a little bit of an accent. I like it.
Hand off to Redford as it looks like Vancouver's going to try and just run the clock out and head into the locker room with an 11-point advantage.
And I like it. It's smart to just run this clock out and try to take this 2-score lead into the halftime break and try to, regroup and continue on to this strong 2nd half.
So the Legion 14, the Classics 3. as we get a look at the first half stats and highlights. And it was a good matchup. We anticipated it coming into it, just Vancouver a little bit better in that first half.
Yeah, and outside of Cameron Curtis's one interception that was deep inside Vancouver's territory, Cameron Curtis had a decent first half of play. He only had 3 incompletions, 81% completion percentage, but he only threw for 190 yards. They got to get better production out of their running back, Robert Johnson. He's only got 20 all-purpose yards altogether, so he's really got to get going in the second half if they want to have any chance of coming back in this ball game. Christian Brown has been hitting on all cylinders and really spreading the ball around nicely to all of his receivers outside their tight end, James Walters, who still doesn't have a catch yet in this one, but they really haven't needed him yet thus far. They've got completions from Justice Blackwell and Chris Curtis for major yardage in this ball game. And Robert Redford is just doing Robert Redford things out there in the rushing game.
Yeah, it's been 2 things for me. It's been the running game, which is advantage to Vancouver, and it's been the passing game, which is advantage to Vancouver. And, Robert Johnson hasn't gotten a whole lot going, and through the passing game, we've seen over 150 yards of passing offense for Vancouver against the 3rd best passing defense in the SFL in Canton. So those are 2 things right there that if you're looking to right the ship, got to get Robert Johnson involved a little bit more, get his juices flowing, and got to pep talk the secondary and tell them, hey, this is what we pay you guys for. Let's go make some plays.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see if they make the needed adjustments for Canton in the locker room and see what they come out with here in the second half, as Canton will get the ball first on offense here in the 3rd quarter. We'll try to get some scoring going first here on offense.
Definitely a good opportunity for the Classics here, getting the football to start off the second half and get started on the right foot, as they are on the outside looking in of the playoff picture currently. Vancouver, the exact opposite. On the inside, looking back out at Canton and a host of other teams that are sitting around that 4-5 mark, as the Classics will start off at the 25-yard line.
And a good point made by Jack Wall in the chat as well. Shout out to him. I mentioned that James Walters doesn't have a catch for Vancouver. Well, Jack Wall doesn't have a catch for Canton yet either. So both tight ends for both offenses being shut out in the first half for both teams.
We'll start off with a carry for Rojo, and Robert Johnson with a good stiff arm there. He'll get out to the 31-yard line for a good gain of 7, as he's a little slow to get up.
Yeah, but I'm sure he'll just, a little bit tired after running 7 yards, and he'll get your juices flowing in the huddle and get right back at it on the second and short play.
Curtis under center. Lone back is going to be Johnson. Curtis going to sling it over to Johnson, and Vancouver ready for it there. As that was Mark Lopez that came up from the safety spot and made the tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
That man himself coming up from his safety spot to bring down Johnson for only a short gain of a yard on the play to bring up this 3rd down. Nice job by him to bring him down the open field.
3rd and short, Classics coming out with the gun. 3 wide. Play action for Curtis. Pressure coming. He's going to go down. Not a chance to get away from that one once again. And that was number 94 getting in there and making the stop, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, that is not a good play by Canton, as holding on to the ball too long was Cameron Curtis, and Charlie Brown did a good job that time of getting in the backfield. So good job, Charlie Brown. You did a good job for your team that time, getting in the backfield and bringing down the quarterback.
Way to go, Charlie Brown. Oh, gosh. Doug Six with another punt. And that'll be dropped at the 40-yard line. Justice Blackwell with the return. We'll see Vancouver come out for their first possession. Not a fruitful one for Canton, and now they got to play defense.
Yeah, their defense is going to have to come up big here on this drive. Really, all for the rest of this game, but really come up big on this first drive of the second half to get this ball back.
Big time opportunity here for the Classics on defense as Walters gets a catch, and he's going to have 6 yards before he's ushered out of bounds along the far sideline.
So out of the 2 tight ends, Walters will have the first completion for the 2 of them as Walters gets his first catch of the ball game for Vancouver.
2nd and 3. Ball at the 47 yard.
Getting a stop here would mean wonders for Canton, and you certainly don't want to say it's a make or break time yet, but you certainly don't want to go down 3 scores. Redford with the carry, and good defense there from the Classics as they bury him in the backfield. I believe that was Gronek and a couple others in the backfield there. Might have been Boudreaux as well.
Yeah, Odette Boudreaux led the way on that one from her defensive tackle spot, coming away with a tackle for loss on the play. Just a big-time tackle for loss, I might add as well, setting up the 3rd down.
4 wide trips towards the bottom of the formation. Brown shuffles in the pocket, uncorks one into coverage and incomplete. Couldn't quite tell who that lone blue jersey was. I think it was Blackwell. That was BK12. My apologies, and it falls incomplete. A lot of Canton defenders in that area, though.
Yeah, he's lucky that was incomplete. You were right. I think it was Hector Huxley, actually. Hector Huxley on the intended completion, but Evan Lacey with superb coverage, surrounded by like 2 or 3 other Canton jerseys, along with Evan Lacey. But luckily, it was incomplete, falls to the turf.
It's hard to tell with the player's helmet buried in the turf, thanks to all the white jerseys in the area.
Right.
So a good stop by Canton, both sides. Starting off with a punt here in the second half of play. Dillapre from about his 20, and he'll make it out to about the 24-yard line. Canton will take over once again on offense. Not a good start on their first drive as they went 3 and outs, and then Vancouver did the same.
Yeah, so, no harm, no foul for going, not doing well on their first drive of the second half because Vancouver didn't score either. So we'll get another crack at it here and try to do better here this time around.
Pretty much right where they started to start the second half anyway. Curtis over the middle finds Kinderhall, and that's a moderate gain out to the 30-yard line.
And you had to know that she was going to come out with this kind of, steam and energy for this game, being the one to lead the receivers in yardage so far in this ball game.
And you could tell Cameron Curtis is just ready to pardon it, Zirkle, but unleash the dragon, so to speak.
Absolutely.
As Johnson gets the carry. Johnson's running with a little bit more purpose here in the second half as he plows ahead for first down yardage out to the 35.
But it's a first down, and that's what Canton is in need of, is more first downs to move the ball down the field. They didn't have a whole lot of them in the first half, and they got to find more of those here in the second half. So as long as they keep that trend going, they'll be in fine shape.
Johnson, very little success on that run as Giudice and Farnsey, I believe, met him right there. No, that was Fields, excuse me. Met him right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we've seen Fields make a couple of different plays in the run game as well. And you can't say enough about these linebackers, whether it be Farnsey or Fields or, any of these guys, Marquise Reed even, they make big hits no matter where they're at.
Curtis quickly gets rid of it to Johnson, and Johnson with a head of steam has first down yardage as he gets close to midfield. Threw in a stiff arm to boot. What a play there by Rojo.
What a nasty stiff arm, too. Wow. Just bam. Oh, major key with the recipient of that one. Oh, just a nasty one just as he rumbles his way for a first down. That means he's got a family. You got to be a little bit nicer, but he doesn't care on his way to a nice gain and a first down.
Oh, disrespectful. Offset eye from the Canton 49-yard line. First down. As Curtis, short drop. Oh, man, that was a dangerous one as Kamasak drills it in. I was ready for it to be reservations for 6 for Vancouver.
Oh, so was I. I had flashbacks of when I played against Vancouver last season. Oh, boy. There was a... I don't know if you remember that play or not, but there was a play that went out to Robert Redford. He bobbled it, and I just snatched it out of his hands and ran back for 6. I had flashbacks of that play.
Beauty. Love it. 4 wide for Curtis. He's under center. Off tackle run for Rojo.
Oh,
He's got first down yardage and more. Out across the 40-yard line to the 36 of Vancouver.
What a that's 2 on this drive now by Johnson that he's just thrown to these Vancouver defenders. And this one belongs to, Drew Hamilton himself. Oh, the disrespect thrown Drew Hamilton's way as he rumbles his way yet for another first down, this time on Vancouver side of the field at the 36.
Can't do it to Papa Hamilton. He won't forgive you. He won't forgive you. Johnson a little bit slow getting out of the backfield, and a lot of blue jerseys converge around him as he loses 2 on the play, led by Earl Fields the 4th.
Yeah, and Earl just said, that's enough of that disrespect. I'm going to shove you down in the backfield for that. And kind of avenge his Poppy's honor on that previous play by burying him for a 2-yard loss.
Clock ticking, under 5 minutes to go here in the third. Curtis, short drop.
Oh.
Had a man open. Was looking for twin screw, just couldn't quite reel it in. Ends up being 3rd down.
I'm not sure if that was twin screw or wall over there in the middle. I guess it was twin screw, but there was a slant pattern over the middle and just a little bit too far out in front and couldn't get the completion.
I mean, with twin screw over in Fort Worth, he's a big beefy dude. He's 6'3", 210. So, he looks like a tight end, even though he's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
3rd and long, empty set. Curtis with
Deep.
time over the middle, interception.
Oh no!
Mark Lopez gets in on the action as he's got an interception at the 13-yard line of Vancouver.
They were looking for Kendra over the middle deep, and Mark Lopez says, "Not this time. You are not going to find your top receiver." And we talked about it off air before this game started. That despite being covered by their CB1, you knew that they were going to have safety help over the top to help cover Kendra, and it came into fruition that time as Mark Lopez was there to come away with the interception.
Absolutely. Read it the whole way, recognized the play, knew the post was coming, and backed up immediately as soon as he saw 1-4 coming his way. Brown kills the play and gives it to Robert Redford, who plows ahead for about 6 out to the 19-yard line, give Vancouver a little bit more breathing room.
And you thought that Redford was going to go down. It looked like he was going to be dead to rights after only a gain of 2 or 3 yards, but he found a way to get skinny in between a couple of would-be tacklers and pick up an extra 3 or 4. So good job by Redford to get that 6-yard gain.
Brown with time finds Curtis, and that's going to be out across the 25 to the 28-yard line. Another fresh set of downs for the Legion.
And this defense for Canton's got to come up big on this drive in the worst way. After that demoralizing interception deep on Vancouver side of the field, Canton's got to get the ball back some way, somehow.
Long drive, too. 9-play drive culminates in an interception deep in opponent territory. That's not what you want to see on offense as Robert Redford is busting loose. Mike Hall getting in there and making the stop in the middle of the field, but not after he gains 5.
And that was the wrong decision by Robert Redford because he spun inside where All was waiting for him. I think had he just turned on the afterburners and went towards the sidelines, he'd still be running right now.
Absolutely. So a possible missed opportunity for the Legion as they set up for 2nd and 5. Redford got another crack at it. And
see, there you go.
And again, he likes going to the inside today for whatever reason. And it seems like, and again, our vantage point is a little awkward from up here in the booth, but it seems like if he bounces it outside more, he has greener pastures.
Absolutely. And the next tackler that would have been there would have been Funk had he not spun and just kept going straight. I think Funk would have been the next one to catch him, but that would have been 5 yards or so further down the field. So
And his yards per carry today, it's showing under 5 a carry, 74 yards off of 16 carries. As he gets carry number 17 here, still on his feet, following blockers, and he'll get to midfield after a gain of about 5.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's only a matter of time before Robert Redford finally understands what his mistakes are and breaks off a big one.
It feels like the dam is starting to lean a little bit, starting to cave as Redford gets another one. But Canton ready for it this time as Jay Rock comes in there and plays run coverage as a corner. You'll love to see that.
Yeah, Jay Rock was ready for it and comes in for a tackle for loss just as soon as we say that. And yeah, you definitely love to see that. Get a TFL on a running back.
Had a couple pass breakups earlier in the ball game in one-on-one coverage. A few tackles here this evening as well, as Brown is going to throw on third down and again is going to convert as Blackwell makes the catch in traffic. What a gutsy play by number 10.
Not only was it in traffic, but it was one-handed over the middle past the defender, I think. I thought it was one-handed. Maybe it was two-handed, but I was giving him more credit than I guess he deserved. But it's still between two defenders, and what a catch in between two defenders to get the first down.
It was Gronek that was actually outstretching his hand there, out across the eyes of Blackwell, it looked like, but still made the catch, still got the first down, and Redford has another carry here as he's going to get a chunk of 7 yards out to the 34.
And now inside the 35 and starting to move the ball further and further into Canton territory. This is, Canton's starting to, needing to have the bend don't break attitude for their defense at this point. And another spin move. I can't say enough about that spin move that he keeps doing.
Well, and honestly, this feeds right into Vancouver's game plan here as they're up by 2 scores right now. They don't need to do anything wild. Right. Yes, there is still time, but go ahead and run the football. Stick with what you know as they run it again. Robert Redford with a mean spin move as he gets out past the 30 to the 28.
Now, see, that spin move was the right call because had he not had the spin move, he would have been tackled maybe a yard or two shy of the first down marker. But a nice, perfectly placed spin move to the right-hand side gained him an extra 3 or 4 yards past the first down marker and a first down.
Brown going to throw this time. Has plenty of time until he didn't.
Right.
Buried in the backfield. Got rid of the football, though, as it's an incompletion.
Odette Boudreau was a split second away from a sack to add to her stat sheet. Boy, that was close.
She came out of nowhere, too. It looked like Christian Brown had all the time in the world, and then all of a sudden, whoop, there she is.
She already has 1 sack to her stat sheet. She almost had a second one. Brown was that close to going down, but he got rid of it and just adds an incompletion to his stat sheet.
Redford right up the middle and gets spun down by Gronek right near the middle of the field after a gain of maybe a few, and that might be the end of 3.
Yeah, we'll see here. I don't think there'll be any rush to snap it again.
Probably not, given the score and where Vancouver's lining up at, and it does look like they are going to let the clock hit triple zeros here in the 3rd. We've got 11 more minutes to go. 1 more quarter of action. Vancouver up by 11 at home against Canton in a playoff positioning football game here in Week 12 of the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. Bunch receivers on 3rd and 7 here. Brown, 7-step drop, uncorks it in the middle, incomplete. Prime turnover opportunity for the Classics, but that will force a field goal opportunity here for Vancouver.
Yeah, they'll have a field goal chance, no pun intended, for the Legion coming up here on 4th down. But Gary Clem was that close to having an interception in his hands, but he got the pass deflection. He tipped it. There was like 2 defenders there that could have came away with it, but it just falls to the turf.
So we're going to see about a 42-yarder here to win, and it is good from 41 officially, and Vancouver will extend their lead to 14 points.
Yeah, that's not the worst thing for Canton. It's still a 2-score game. At least he didn't allow the 6. So it's still a 2-score game, only 2 touchdowns down. You just need to get scores here in the fourth quarter to come back in this one, and we've seen stranger things happen in the SFL, so still within reach.
We've seen stranger things happen tonight, for crying out loud.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what am I talking about, right? I just called one.
Dillapre right up the middle of the field, finds room, but he gets tackled at the 30-yard line. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library, and to find their perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. First and 10 from the 30 for the Classics. Curtis in trouble again, and again he's going to go down. And Judas Sessi making sure that he hits career sack number 50, and he has surpassed that to at least 51 by this point.
Yeah, that's going to give him 51, and that's going to give him 20th place for his career. And that is going to pass, let me look real quick. Yeah, that's going to pass Luther Gahn, temporarily at least, for 20th all-time with that sack.
Swing pass to Rojo, and Vancouver again ready for it. This defense is playing with a little bit of juice here to start this fourth quarter of play. They know what's on the line. They know that Portland is nipping at their heels a little bit out in their division, and they don't want any part of that.
Yeah, and you got to think a loss by Canton tonight would be crippling towards their playoff implications as we reach the last couple weeks of the season.
It would definitely be a lot tougher for Canton, for sure, as Curtis airs it out. What a diving grab by Twin Screw as he makes the catch at the Canton 49-yard line, throws his hands up and says, hey, what's up? I can do this all night long.
Up to that point, he's only had 2 receptions for 22 yards after leading the team in receiving yards last week, and there was no reception bigger than that one, as that one goes for 25 yards and of the diving variety for the first down as he almost reaches midfield.
You always want to be like Mike.
Oh, always.
Rojo, whoa, carry the defender, get out of here! What was that? That's an insane run.
We haven't seen that kind of running from Rojo all game long. Then out of nowhere, he decides to throw not 1, but 2 stiff arms. 1, 2, in one play. And drags another defender for good measure for a first down. What in the world are we seeing right now?
That was a la Josh Allen. That was a helmet slap, that second stiff arm is what that was. Just sending him into the netherworld.
Oh, man.
First and 10 now for Curtis and company as Kendra Hall gets in on the action and gets a gain of 5, stepping out along the near sideline.
She's now over 50 yards on the evening on 6 catches, so she's at 53 to add on to her stat line for this evening.
And we'll see if that'll juice up the Classics a little bit here. A couple big plays back to back. We'll see how the offense responds here, being down by 14 on the road, trying to keep pace in the playoffs against a very good Vancouver Legion team. Handoff to Kamasak, who's trying to find some room, and he'll get a couple on that play. Brings up third down.
I'm not trying to say anything negative, but we've seen them down here before. That's all I'm saying. We'll see what they do next play.
True. This is true. Could be a little teaser. 3 wide. 4 down linemen for the Legion. Hand off to Rojo. Rojo still trying to find some extra room. Just couldn't quite make it happen on that third down play. Brings up 4th down. And I think we will see a Rob M's kick.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right call, though. There's still time's ticking away here in the fourth quarter. Less than 8 minutes to go now. And this is going to be a 50-yarder, but it's only going to be it's still going to be a 2-score game and 11-point deficit. I just don't like this call.
Yeah, it's gonna make things tough. And a low snap to boot.
Oh,
But Ems gets it up, and it is through from 50 yards. What a kick there by Rob Ems. And that'll slim the lead back to 11 for Vancouver. But again, I'm with you, Nate. I can't help but wonder, okay, well, why don't you just try and go for the TD? Go for it. You got nothing to lose.
It's 4th and 3. You're on the road. I mean, you got to, in my opinion, you got to go for it. It's 4th quarter. Times, like I said, time's ticking away. You're down 2 scores. We'll see what happens the remaining 7.5 minutes of this ball game, but we'll see, how that affects the outcome.
Canton coaching staff trusting their defense here, and we'll see what they can do as Vancouver will set up shop at the 22-yard line. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams, all the places you can watch live games, plus links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of the SFL talent, and so much more. SimulationFL.net, your home for everything SFL. Redford bouncing it outside. Good blocking for him. Eventually gets caught from behind by Mike All. Just kind of ran out of time there. That play took a little too long to develop.
Yeah, but I thought he was going to get tackled after 5 yards. He ends up getting, well, I thought he got 8, but you're going to say he got 6. But it just looked like he was going to keep running after he broke a couple more tackles. So, but nonetheless, good gain of 6 yards on the play.
More importantly, staying in bounds. Clock will continue to roll. Redford with another carry.
Oh.
Again, bounces it off tackle.
Go
And this
spin.
time, I don't think anyone's going to catch him. 30, 25-20. A burst of speed there by Evan Lacey to catch up with him and save the touchdown at the 19-yard line.
And he didn't spin, and you see what happens, right? We've seen it all game long. He spins and he gets caught. But this time he had blocking on that left-hand side. He runs towards the sidelines this time, and he outruns most of the defense. Luckily, he gets brought down by Evan Lacey, if you're a Canton fan, and gets tackled at the inside the 20-yard line. But you see what happens when you don't spin and you run towards the sidelines and gas it all the way towards the sidelines for a big gain.
Evan Lacey with that track star speed, able to close in on the natural and wrap him up as Redford gets another carry there. Past the 15 to the 13-yard line. Clock continuing to roll, and Canton gasping for air and gasping for the last breath here for the playoff positioning.
Absolutely. Now under 6 minutes left in the ball game, and even a field goal let up here by Canton wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they could just get a stop here.
Or a turnover.
You're right, absolutely.
Canton stacking the box, offset eye for Vancouver on offense. Redford with another carry, and he gets stood up near the line of scrimmage. He'll push himself forward and get a couple on the play. Brings up 3rd and 2.
Clock now becoming a factor, though. Clock's still ticking under 5.5 minutes. Check out that score, though, on the other game in the 3rd quarter.
No kidding, right? Yeah, we have seen a strange first block of games to kick off Week 12 as Redford gets just enough for the first down. That'll make it a 1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
I mean, the first 2 games in and of itself was crazy, right? I mean,
right.
Barely winning was Mexico City over Louisiana. You got an upset of the season probably out in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville coming down from 20-3 to win that ball game. Absolutely bananas.
Absolutely. Then you got a 6-point game, 6-0 score line, which is like a baseball score in the 3rd quarter.
Kidding. Against two good defenses in the SFL as we get another look at Brown's pass. Looking for BK12 in the back of the end zone, but there was a lot of Canton jerseys. Groneck with the pass deflection.
Yeah, Groneck's been having himself a night as well. That's his first pass deflection of the ball game, but he's got a total of 8 tackles on this evening. When it looked like he was gonna, he did slow down here in the second half. It looked like he was gonna double-digit in tackles after having a strong first half, but he's been having a strong tackle night.
So Canton stops the clock with the incompletion there. 4:44 to go. Redford with
Look
the
out.
carry, and he's going to hit pay dirt. Touchdown, Vancouver.
I mean, he just followed those blockers. That was the backup, Jackson, actually, in the
Oh, it was?
touchdown. Yeah, so they get Myron Jackson Jr., the backup halfback, in, and just patient running on that right-hand side, following his blockers, his fullback, and nobody was there on that defense for Canton as he rumbles his way for pay dirt and 6 points to extend this lead to 3 scores.
That was the last thing you needed if you were Canton, for Vancouver to go on a long drive all the way down the football field and score a touchdown.
And now if you're Canton, you're now 3 scores down with less, way less than 5 minutes left to go in this game.
To win adds the extra points, and it's 24-6 now in favor of the Legion. This weekend, Next Level Sports coverage of the Simulation Football League visits Minnesota Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where the Legend, coming off their shocking win over Baltimore, will welcome the DC Dragons, 2 teams battling for division titles. Sunday at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, Florida tries to keep its slim lead in the East Division as rival Denver. Plus live look-ins on the unbeaten London Knights and the high-flying San Diego Mavericks in desperation mode. For a channel guide and more info about NXT, visit nlse.com. A lot more good games to look forward to for the rest of the weekend here.
Yeah, San Diego comes to town to visit yours truly, and we'll have something to say about that outcome, I'm sure.
Yes.
First and 10.
Meanwhile, we got 4.5 minutes to go here in the Pacific Northwest. 24-6 the score. Vancouver trying to move to 6-4. Canton fighting for their playoff lives here as Rojo gets the swing pass, and he'll get 5 coming out of the backfield. They'll go no huddle.
They have to go no huddle here from here on out.
Curtis again with that swing pass, and that is trouble. Turnover City. Drew Hamilton takes advantage of the bobble by Rojo, and that will probably just about do it.
Yeah, the last thing that Canton could afford at this point in the ballgame was a turnover, and Rojo just couldn't find a handle on that screen pass. And right place, right time, Drew Hamilton just right there. He's probably looking to just get the tackle, thinking that Rojo is going to find a handle and just get the tackle at the last second, but he was just like a uh-oh catch moment for the interception. Just finds it in his hands for the INT and gets the ball right back to the offense.
I call with the TFL on Redford in the backfield there. That's a loss of 2. It was just a story of Canton not quite getting everything going. Like it was a good start to the game. Just Canton was not firing on all cylinders, and Vancouver eventually got everything all straightened out and started cruising a little bit, and that's why you see the score the way it is.
Absolutely, just started to go, snowballed on Canton throughout this ball game.
And now Vancouver is in wait-and-see mode as they are letting the clock bleed down before taking snaps. And again, another TFL for the Canton Classics on defense brings up 3rd and 13.
Yeah, they're in wait-and-see mode for sure, as Portland's got Queen City tomorrow. So they're going to keep that at least a 1.5 game lead out there in the Pacific over them through tomorrow, and then pending that outcome, might even have a 2-game lead if Queen City can come away with the win. So we'll see what happens in the next 24 hours.
And that'll be a wait and see game for Canton as well, as Queen City is just a skosh underneath Canton in their division out there in the north. The London Knights already locking up that division, but Canton and Queen City doing their best to get themselves into the playoffs as the Classics force a 4th down there.
Yeah, so Canton will get the ball back on offense, trying to get as many scores as they can. They'll chance to win. Will tack on 3 more points here with this field goal attempt coming up to try to get an even 3-touchdown lead. But yeah, so we'll a lot to look forward to in games this weekend for sure.
Snap, and it's blocked.
Oh, wow.
Canton gets the blocked field goal, and Vancouver's got it. but they're going nowhere with it. So a good play there by the Classic special teams to force the block. And maybe they've got a little life in them with 2:47 to go, all 3 timeouts.
We will see. Like I keep saying, anything can happen in the SFL. So we know that Canton has big play, possibilities. They got big playmakers in Kendra Hall and Twin Screw. Let's see.
Curtis gonna find one of the big playmakers right there, and that's Kendra Hall out into Vancouver territory just like that. Curtis, play action, has time, over the middle, and it completes. Threw it right to the linebacker Fields, and couldn't locate the football.
Yeah, Rojo was there too, but Fields just batted that one in the air. It is too bad that one of the other defenders for Vancouver wasn't there as well, or else that could have been another interception for Curtis, and that would have been his 4th on the day.
4 wide with a tight end. Curtis under center, no backs. 7-step drop. Throws it right to Rojo at the 40-yard line. They're going to go no huddle here on 3rd and 6. Curtis, near sideline picked. And that'll pretty much do it right there as Major Key gets another interception here this evening. That's his 2nd.
Yeah, that's going to be Cameron Curtis's 4th on the day. Major Key gets his 2nd. They were looking the way of Twin Screw on that right-hand side. Twin Screw not having the best of nights, only 47 yards receiving, trying to add to the 4th reception, but not to be as Vancouver takes over on offense.
And Key baited him the entire way. Looked like he was playing zone. Curtis saw it, fired it, and as soon as that happened, he jumped on it, made the play. And that was an impressive play by the corner as we reach the 2-minute warning here in Vancouver. The Legion have been all over the Classics here in the second half. 24-6 your score. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We are live on YouTube. Two minutes to go. Eric Vincent alongside Nate Hall and Mark Mello in the stats truck for us this evening. Scoreboard doesn't necessarily tell the entire story. It's been a very good ball game from both of these teams. Just Vancouver a little bit better here in the second half as the twos are out there and the twos are running free. As he's already got a touchdown. I mean, what more do you want? Come on.
I thought he was off of to the races again. And that's the backup again, the Myron Jackson Jr. And just showing Robert Redford up at this point, and this is not fair. It's not fair to Canton at this point. making it look easy in the ground game.
Classics burning their first time out at 1:55. Second team offense in for Vancouver as they will run the football again to Jackson, and again Canton is going to stand them up at the line of scrimmage. They were not ready for another off-tackle run as they burn another timeout.
And yeah, we see the backup quarterback in now, Mark Salt, who the Legion team will say is the best overall backup in the SFL, to the dismay of many other SFL teams in the league.
Well, and that ends Christian Brown's nights as he has had 2 touchdowns and a pick. So he is now 22 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. So good for him. He's over that 20 for 20 hump there. And Canton all out of timeouts here with 1:49 to go, 3rd and 9. And I don't know if they've got that extra magic in them here.
I believe it was last week that I called a game with Brett Killian, and it was the Louisiana game, and I told him that Louisiana says that Whiskey LaFouche was, Louisiana says that Whiskey LaFouche was the best backup in the SFL, and he said, well, I'd have to, respectfully disagree with that because it's Mark Salt hands down.
I'm ready for that to be our next discussion topic on the Discord server. Is who is the best backup
Best
quarterback in the SFL?
It'll be here before you know it, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm waiting on pins and needles for it. Patrick gonna try and pin back Canton deep, letting the clock bleed down as much as humanly possible. And Dillapre will let that one bounce, and a very good punt there by Patrick.
Oh,
That
man.
will be down at the 1 yard line with 57 seconds to go here for Canton.
Vancouver just said, let's add salt to the wound, please, and just get this punt down inside the 5 all the way down to the 1 yard line. Let's see what you do with that with less than a minute left.
No pun intended with the salt in the wound thing. So Curtis, 99 yards to hit pay dirt here and get a touchdown on the board. Curtis in trouble. That's going to be a safety. There's the salt to the wound right there.
Right. Vancouver's defense just said, Gerald Giudice, let's add one more sack to your great night of history-making sacks to your record, and add one more that adds 2 more points to the board, and call it a night. Have fun. Take the rest of the night off.
Been a great game for Gerald Giudice. I don't think he's going to get player of the game honors, but he should certainly be in the running for it.
Absolutely.
As Curtis will field the free kick and bring it out to the 44-yard line. We'll probably see a few more kneel downs, and that'll pretty much do it.
Yeah, Canton doesn't have any more timeouts, so yeah, 2 knees by Mark Salt, and this one will be salted away.
Halton victory formation will take the knee, and looking ahead, I should say, for these two teams. Vancouver traveling to Michigan to take on the Motor City V8s next week. And the Canton Classics, I believe, will have a bye. No, I take that back. They will have a home game against the LA Lycans at Fatherhood Festival Field in Canton, Ohio.
That should be a game.
That will be a very good game, yes. So Canton will fall to 4-6, still within the realm of getting a playoff spot. And Vancouver will get a win to move themselves to 6-4, trying to get a better hold of the Pacific Division with Portland in close pursuit. So 26-6, your final score as the Legion take this one here at home. Go ahead and give us your final thoughts here tonight, Nate Hall.
Yeah, just ever since the halftime break, when Vancouver had that halftime lead of 2 scores of 14-3, Vancouver just never looked back, and we talked about it in the first half of, at that point, I think it was one point in the first half when Robert Redford only had 18 yards running. I said, well, look out, because as the game progresses, he usually gets stronger in the second half. And what happened? He ends up with 160 yards rushing on 28 carries. And a lot of that had to do with a 52-yard run that he had in the third quarter. So that's something that you just have to look at when you're the opponents, when you have to face this Vancouver team. Robert Redford just gets stronger as the day goes on. And Christian Brown, here in his first season with the Legion, just continues to get better as each game progresses, throwing for 2 touchdowns and almost 200 yards, but he really didn't need to throw all that much when he's got a running back with the caliber of Robert Redford. And then for Canton, just not a very productive day on the ground with Robert Johnson. I think that's the biggest reason, along with the 4 interceptions thrown by Cameron Curtis.
Yeah, and Vancouver, this is a tough team. We knew this was going to be a tough test for Canton coming into this ball game. They are still a very young team. They will figure out how to gel together over the course of time. And this Vancouver team has been built over seasons. there are very few players that have not been involved with this team for multiple seasons. And you are seeing how that results on the field as they play top-notch SFL football season after season. So, again, Canton unfortunately ran into the buzzsaw in the second half. Robert Redford sprang himself to life, and they ended up on the losing end of this one. Player of the game goes to Christian Brown. 15 of 24, 189 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 97.4 QBR. Well, on behalf of myself, Nate Hall, and Mark Mello in the Stats Truck, along with Commissioner and Executive Producer Extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, my name is Eric Vincent. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the Simulation Football League. We greatly appreciate your arrival and your participation in tonight's game. Games will kick off tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern Time, over on Next Level Sports. You don't want to miss the DC Dragons taking on the Minnesota Legend. Take care and good night, everybody.